Hello, my dear grade 6 students. Our lesson for today is subtracting integers. We will learn how to subtract integers using a number line and colored chips. First, let's start with subtraction of integers using a number line. When subtracting integers using a number line, these are the steps that we'll follow. First, we locate the minuend on the number line. Then, we jump on the right if we subtract negative integer, and we jump to the left if we subtract positive integer. Let's have some examples. Negative 4 minus 3 equals n. Following the steps we mentioned earlier, we will locate first negative 4, which is our minuend, and on the number line, negative 4 is here. From negative 4, we'll be subtracting a positive 3, so that means we'll jump on the number line 3 times to the left. So from negative 4, 1, 2, and 3 will end at negative 7. That means negative 4 minus 3 is equal to negative 7. Next, negative 3 minus 5 equals n. Again, we will locate first our minuend, and our minuend is here on the number line. From negative 3, we'll be jumping 5 times to the left rather, since we are subtracting positive 5. So again, from negative 3, we will jump 5 times to the left, since we are subtracting positive 5. And that will give us a negative 8. So negative 3 minus 5 is equal to negative 8. Another one, 2 minus 8 equals n. Our minuend is 2, so we will locate 2 first on our number line. Then from 2, we'll be subtracting positive 8, so that means we will move 8 times to the left on our number line. And we will end at 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. We'll end at negative 6. That means 2 minus 8 is equal to a negative 6. Another example, 2 minus negative 5 is equal to n. Our minuend is 2, and again 2 is here on the number line. This time we are subtracting a negative integer on our number line, so we'll be moving 5 times to the right. From negative 2, we'll move 5 times to the right, and that will give us a positive 7. So that means we have 2 minus negative 5 is equal to a positive 7. Next example, 6 minus negative 2 equals n. Our minuend is 6, and on the number line, 6 is here. We are subtracting a negative 2 from 6. That means from 6, we'll be moving 2 times to the right. So we have 1 and 2. And we'll end at positive 8. So 6 minus negative 2 is equal to 8. Now let us try to subtract integers using colored chips. But first, let us recall what zero pair means. A pair of positive and negative integer is called zero pair. If you have a positive and a negative integer, they cancel out each other. Now your knowledge of zero pair is very important in subtracting integers using colored chips. So let's have some examples. Negative 8 minus negative 2 equals n. Using colored chips, just like in number line, we'll first represent our minuend. So negative 8 will be represented using 8 red chips. Now if you will subtract negative 2, it simply means that from our 8 red chips, we'll be subtracting 2 red chips. And that will give us negative 6. We were left with 6 red chips when we subtracted 2 red chips from our 8 red chips. Next, negative 3 minus negative 5. Again, we will first represent our minuend. Since it is negative, that will be represented by 3 red chips. Now we are asked to subtract negative 5. We only have 3 red chips here, but we are asked to subtract negative 5. So that means we'll be subtracting 5 red chips. But again, we only have 3 here. So how will we be able to have 5 red chips without changing the value of our original number or of our minuend? This is where the concept of zero pair comes in. From these 3 red chips, we can actually add 2 pairs of zero pair. Remember, zero pair is equal to 0. So even if we add 2 zero pairs, negative 3 or the value of negative 3 will not change. Now, by adding 2 zero pairs, we now have 5 red chips, which is the number of negative that we need to subtract from negative 3. So in here, we now have 5 red chips, or that is negative 5. We can now subtract. And by doing so, we'll be left with 2 yellow chips, which is equivalent to positive 2. So that means negative 3 minus negative 5 is equal to a positive 2. Let's try another one. 6 minus negative 3 equals n. So our minuend is 6, and it will be represented using 6 yellow chips. Now we are asked to subtract negative 3. But again, in our illustration, there's no representation for negative 3. We cannot subtract negative 3 here because all we have are positive chips. So that means we need to add 3 red chips. But if we do that, then the value of positive 6 will change. So instead of adding 3 negatives, we can just simply add 3 zero pairs. Because again, these 3 zero pairs is just equivalent to 0. So it will not change the value of positive 6. Now, we need to subtract negative 3. Okay, since we added 3 zero pairs, we now have exactly 3 red chips here, which we can eliminate. So by doing so, we will be left with 9 yellow chips. So that means 6 minus negative 3 is equal to a positive 9. Now take note that number line and color chips are only advisable when we are given small values for our integers. We cannot use a number line and color chips when we are actually subtracting bigger numbers because it will take a lot of time, or it will consume a lot of time drawing a number line and colored chips in subtracting integers. So how do we subtract integers without using a number line and colored chips? In subtracting integers, we change the operation into addition, change the sign of the subtrahend into its opposite, and proceed to the rules of adding integers. For example, if we are given 5 minus 7, using a number line, we locate 5, our minuend on the number line, and that's here. Then, since we are subtracting positive 7, we'll be jumping from negative 5 7 times to the left on our number line, and that will give us negative 2. This is actually the same as adding negative 7 to positive 5. Okay, remember, we already know how to add integers because that is our topic last time. Okay, so subtracting positive 7 to positive 5 is the same as adding negative 7 to positive 5. Okay, let's take a look at our number line. In adding integers using a number line, we locate the addend first, or the first addend on our number line, and 5 is here. Then since we're adding negative 7, we are jumping, or we will jump 7 times to the left on our number line. And again, it will just give us a negative 2. So these two equations here are actually just the same. Okay. Another example, if you have negative 5 minus 7, that is equal to a negative 12. And subtracting positive 7 to a negative 5 is just the same as adding negative 7 to negative 5. Again, in subtracting integers, we change the operation into addition, then change the sign of the subtrahend into its opposite, and proceed to the rules of adding integers. And that's it for our lesson for today. Thank you for listening.